I'm Hannah, 29. Standing in the middle of the dining room, the air thick with tension, I watch as the once picture, perfect engagement party of my sister, Lily, turns into a complete chaos. My father, Mr. Thompson, looks like he's aged 10 years in an instant, his face ashen. The Sterling family, Mr. Sterling and his son, Ethan, Lily's ex-fiancé, are standing up, ready to leave. It all started when Lily thought she could humiliate me with a gift. I was in the living room, holding a box wrapped in a fancy ribbon. Inside were a membership to a dating app for the hopelessly single and a book titled Finding Joy in Solitude. Lily giggled, saying she saw it on TikTok and the reviews were great. My mother, Mrs. Thompson, sitting rigidly on the sofa, chimed in that Lily was just worried about my future. I remembered how they'd ignored my wedding 8 months ago. I'd spent evenings in my apartment in San Francisco, carefully choosing the cardstock and tying ribbons for the wedding invitations. My husband, Alex, a senior cyber security analyst, had asked if I should call my parents. I was so sure they'd come. But on my wedding day, their seats were empty. I'd even painted signs with wildflowers because my mother once said she liked tulips. During dinner, my mother toasted Lily's upcoming royal-like wedding. Lily was beaming, her 3-carat diamond ring sparkling. Then my mother turned to me, asking when it would be my turn. I calmly said I'd been married for 8 months. They were in disbelief. My mother accused me of eloping in Vegas secretly, and Lily said I was making up stories to ruin her party. But I had evidence. I told them about Alex's job and how I designed the electrical and smart systems for this house. I sent a message to Alex, and soon the TV screen flickered. We accessed the files I'd stored. First, there was the FedEx receipt showing Lily had signed for my wedding invitations. She tried to brush it off, saying she signed for many packages. Then, we found the email filter in my mother's inbox. It was set up to delete any emails about my wedding, and it was traced back to Lily's device. She panicked and then tried to turn it around, saying she hid the invitations to protect our parents from embarrassment. She claimed she was afraid they'd be humiliated by my rustic wedding in San Francisco. My parents were starting to buy her story, but I wasn't done. I showed the video footage from the front door camera. It showed Lily receiving the package, reading the return address, and then throwing it into the recycling bin without hesitation. Ethan's face went blank. He realized he couldn't marry someone so deceitful. He took off the engagement ring and placed it on the table, saying they were done. Mr. Sterling then told my father that the merger project between their companies was off. He said a man who couldn't manage his household couldn't manage a business. My father was devastated. That merger was supposed to be his career, defining deal. Lily was furious and tried to threaten me, but I reminded her that the CCTV footage was evidence of federal mail tampering. If she dared to lie about me on social media, I'd send it to the police and her brand sponsors. I picked up the gift box and placed it in front of Lily. "You need it more than I do," I said. Then I walked out of the house. As I got into the Uber, I video called Alex. His warm smile on the screen made me feel at home. 3 days later, a FedEx package arrived at my San Francisco apartment. It was a check for $50,000 from my father, along with a note asking me to stay silent about the contract. I tore the check into pieces, took a photo, and sent it to the family group chat. I typed that I wouldn't sell my silence and that they shouldn't contact me again. Then I left the group chat. On New Year's Eve, I was at Alex's family home in Portland. The house was filled with laughter and the smell of his mother's delicious lasagna. Alex and I stepped out onto the porch. The city lights twinkled in the distance. When he asked if I had any regrets, I thought about everything that had happened. I had none. I was no longer the overlooked Thompson daughter. I was Hannah, an architect of my own life, free from the chains of a family that never truly loved me.